Okay, so this is Sean B. Bradley of Dealer Synergy. I'm on the phone with Pat, the Internet Director for Bleecker, and Travis Hibbler. So Travis, okay, what we're going to do now is I'm going to open up the VPP that you guys created. Okay, so 110% price protection guarantee, 2-year certified Bleecker bird service. What's that?
Well, you have 2 years certified GM service. We didn't want to confuse it, so I named it Bleecker. And the bird is our kind of like our logo, the Bleecker bird.
Okay,
So
so
we called it.
okay.
We just don't want any confusion between GM certified.
Understood. No, that's totally fine. So 2 years certified Bleecker bird service, free annual alignment and brake inspection, free appraisal, free auto check report, $1,000 additional trading value, ASE certified, courtesy transportation, complete comprehensive vehicle inspections. Okay, we will honor GM and Chrysler employee and vendor dealer discount pricing programs. That's strong. Okay, military value, female, buyers, young family, first-time buyers, out of area, value package. Okay, out of area package. Okay, out of area, military additional year certification maintenance, military OEM offers, women 10% off parts and accessories. Okay, so these bullet points are the disclaimers, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so then it stops at out of area value package.
Correct.
Okay. Now, I'm just going to freestyle for a little bit. This is extremely good. Okay? What I would suggest is a couple things. One, who do you have that's going to do graphics and kind of make this thing pretty?
Zach.
Zach. Okay, good. So the first thing is after we agree that this is the best thing to do, then what I want you to be able to do is to, obviously make this kind of pretty. Now, if Zach wants to contact, he could still do everything, but if he wants to bounce some ideas, I've got some really, really professional graphic people. We won't do it. Let Zach do it, but he could at least have somebody to bounce some ideas on, okay?
Okay.
So he could
So
call
who do I have him call?
Dana at Dealer Synergy, or just call the phone number and speak to Dana. She's the manager for digital marketing.
Yes, sir. Okay.
All right?
All right.
Now, the next thing is this, let's go through this. I think this is good, but there's a couple of things that I want to be able to have here that I don't see here. Okay, and I know that you use the Huffman Internet as a baseline, and that's totally okay, but if you remember, what we're trying to do with this value package is we want to exceed a prospect's expectations. We want to blow their mind. Now, you guys agree with that statement? That's what we're trying to do with the value package?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, but here's the thing, though, is that to exceed someone's expectations, we have to first understand what their wants, wishes, needs, expectations are, and we need to have met them first. So, again, I love the beginning part. You can see my mouse moving up and down, right?
Right.
I like the beginning part. Here's where you do pretty awesome when you go to the military, female, young family, first-time buyers, out of area value package. Okay, but there's a lot of things that you're kind of missing, and I think they're in here. I want you to trust me on this. Usually when I deal with dealers, they listen to some of it. Pat, I know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So here's what I want to have happen. I want you to add a couple more categories. And, I'm not saying add more stuff. We might need to add more stuff, but if you add the categories, it'll make sense. But before I tell you what those are, I want to show you something. I'm going to go over here to the Dealer Synergy website. And I want to show you, I practice what I preach, and I want to just kind of show you something. When I go to reviews, now this is for reviews, this is not a value package. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. There, no, I am in the right one. You see under reviews, you see I break it down for dealer principals, for associations like the Detroit Association, the Massachusetts, for general managers, dealer groups. You see that these are different categories, right? A dealer principal might not care what an internet director has to say, but they're going to care what other dealer principals say. Would you agree with that, Travis?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Okay, so because it's relevant to them, do you see how I categorize these things? I mean, this is like, I think, the best review section I've seen any trainer anywhere ever in the United States automotive industry. I'm very proud of this because I took a lot of time to put this here. For your value package, you should, in my opinion, create categories. Now, Pat, this is a test,
Yes.
and I hope you pass because we trained you on this. What are the top 5 reasons why people are going online?
Price, value, convenience, availability, and not having to deal with salespeople.
You're missing one. Value is not one of them. Value is price. You said that. That's two of the same
Oh,
thing.
yeah. Wait a minute.
The last one is research.
Research, yeah.
You did good, though. I'll give you that.
Thank you.
What'd you say, Karen?
Good.
I always
That's putting you on the spot. All right, go ahead.
What is it? Yeah, Karen's got an acronym. Go ahead, Karen.
Yeah, I usually just remember CHARP, C-H-A-R-P.
CHARP, C-H-A-R-P, which stands for
Convenience, hate salespeople.
convenience, hate salespeople, availability, research, and price.
Research and price. Oh, I like that.
CHARP. So it's just an easy way for you to remember it. That's coming from Karen Bradley. I've never even thought of that myself. That's my wife. She's brilliant. You know what I mean? So however you want to remember it, there's no particular order. So I always say price, availability, convenience, hate, car salesman, research, but it doesn't spell out a word. So I'm okay with CHARP. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing.
We all did it in college, so.
There you go. So follow me on this, Travis and Pat.
Right.
What would be great here is if you put Bleecker's, extra value proposition package. You know what I mean? Like, that's a little bit too wordy. I would say, Bleecker's why buy us. Here's why to buy from us. I mean, because if you're going to put this to the public, let's call it, this is what the official term is. It's called a value package proposition. The actual term is value package proposition. So, again, but to a customer, Bleecker extra value proposition package, that's like technical. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, well, what the hell does that mean? So just, if you're going to make it visible.
That's my father-in-law. He's technical. So
Yeah, but
Bleecker, why buy us?
Yeah, here's why us, or here are the reasons why to buy from us. So that's what I want you to do. Now that I think you're about 75% there. I'm going to make some modifications right now. But now that you're closer to the launch of this thing, now you got to talk about marketing. I have a very strong marketing mind. You want to make this when somebody sees this, they're like, oh, that's why us. You know what I mean? So again, it's why they should buy from Bleecker. So you can even turn on if you want to use why buy Bleecker. You know what I mean? Or why buy from Bleecker? You know what I mean? Like that kind of flows. It sounds good. Buy Bleecker, BB. Why buy Bleecker? And with a ... question mark. And then I would say here, here are the reasons why. And I would have a statement something like this: we do things differently and better than the rest. Remember, the price you receive elsewhere needs to be weighed against the value you get at Bleecker. I'm going to repeat that. The price.
Can't write that fast.
Well, that's why I'm recording the video, brother.
Good.
Again, the price you receive elsewhere needs to be weighed against the value you get at Bleecker. The price you receive elsewhere needs to be weighed against the value we provide at Bleecker. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so again, why buy Bleecker? ... question mark. And you could say, because we do things different and better than the rest. That's the first sentence. Then after we do things different and better than the rest, the next statement means, remember, the price you receive elsewhere needs to be weighed against the value you receive here. Okay, and then that's like the intro statement or the thesis statement, for you collegiate people, Travis, right? Because I'm not. And, what you want to do is break it down into categories. Maybe you want to have a synopsis like you have, we do this, 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 and this. Maybe if you want to do this the absolute best way, and by the way, guys, I've never explained it like this to anybody else. Every day, because I don't know if you noticed, but everything I do is freestyle. It just comes from my heart and my mind. So I'm actually, just because it's coming out of my head like this, I've got a great way to explain this. I want you to almost highlight. You ever look at CNN? You know, if you go to CNN, it kind of gives you like the highlights of an article before you read it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's called a thesis statement. So maybe what you can do is you have the, you have the introductory statement, like, we do things different and better, and the price you receive elsewhere needs to be weighed. And then maybe what you could do is you could turn around and say, here's some of the incredible things. And I would choose some of the things that are really, really, really big. You know what I mean? Like the 110% price guarantee. Again, like free auto check report. Like just ask us to show you the auto check. Well, what the hell does that mean? Like people don't understand that. So I don't really care about that. I'm not saying that's important, but what you might want to be able to do is put and maybe that's all these. Maybe all this is like the major things. If it's not major, don't take your prime real estate, your thesis paragraph, and put it there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
You want to make those bullet points bigger than the rest, because if you look at this is all the same font, all the same side. There's nothing bold. What you want to be able to do is go BAM! And I meant to shake you for a second on purpose. That's what you do. When people see this, they're like, wow, oh my gosh, holy smokes, they do that? And then what you want to do is categorize them and elaborate. I'm going to repeat. You want to have that BAM statement, and then you want to categorize and elaborate. I'm going to repeat that. You want to have your BAM statement, then you want to categorize and elaborate. For example, if you list the top 5 or 10 amazing, powerful, different, especially different things that make you different and better, you've got to really know what those, and if there's only 5, then don't push it. Then here's the top 5 amazing, ridiculously different, powerful things, and they're like bigger, bolded, or highlighted. Make sense?
Yes.
And then I want you to have categories, okay? You've got good categories, but I want you to add the important ones. The top 5 reasons why people are going online. So, for example, I would even say a statement. It says, for price shoppers, and then bullet point, bullet point, bullet point. You could turn around and add in, we have 110 price, protection guarantee. We got a free tank of gas. And you want to put the bullet points for people that are grinders, that are price people, that are discount people, that are all about specials, that are all about, just grinding the crap out of you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
So you want to have a price category and then all the things. And just for example, it's not just the things you're going to give away, but maybe you say, we have a newsletter, or we have, by being a price shopper, you're going to get, put into our monthly email specials. You'll get the VIP book of savings. You'll get this. You'll get that. And you want to create a special value package for all the, not just the price people, but the straight up mooches. The people like me. I'm a mooch. Right or wrong? That's what you want to do. So price people, availability people, you should, I don't see anything that says if you're looking for a specific car, we do factory orders. We do, statewide or countrywide dealer locates. We have a network of banks, wholesalers, and auctions that we could get your vehicle. We could, and, also availability. Think about this. This is really cool what I'm about to say. So we're talking about, having a thing there for availability. If we don't have the vehicle, we could turn around and we could find the vehicle. We could locate the vehicle. We could ship the vehicle, because that's for availability purposes. Or what about this? Customization, aftermarket. We want to make the car of your dreams. And if you're looking for your dream car, if it doesn't exist, hell, we'll even build it for you. We'll customize it. If it doesn't come from the factory, we'll install it in. How brilliant is that?
That'll work.
You want rims that spin, baby? We can spin them forwards, backwards. You want a shag carpet on your floor? You want dice in your mirror? We got you. So that's what I'm saying. Let's keep it like 100. Let's keep it really focused here. What are the things that are different and better? This is all stuff that you'll do anyway. Do you not put, leather in cars that don't have leather?
Yes.
Travis?
Yeah, we do it. We do it all.
Okay, I can't tell by looking at your value package.
All right.
So what I want you to do is this. I want you to really break it down. Begin with the end result in mind. The top 5 reasons why people are going online are price, availability, convenience. I hate car salesmen and research. So for convenience, you can talk about all the things that you do. If you don't have a ride, we'll pick you up. We'll even drop you off if you don't have a car. We have a shuttle service. We do this. We'll deliver out-of-stock parts. We'll, if you can't make it into the dealership for a product presentation, on your lunch break, we'll bring the car to you. You don't even have to buy it. No obligations. We'll show you the vehicle. Again, you got to dig deep and figure out what you're going to do to make it different. Guys, do you know that they have drive-through liquor stores? I'm going to repeat that. In this crazy freaking country, there's drive-through liquor stores. Why? Because people are freaking lazy. They can't get their Boone's Farm Apple wine from the store. They got to get it through drive-through. You see what I'm saying? So we live in a drive-through liquor store mentality of a world. Now, when I'm not condoning that. What I'm saying though is that people are used to McDonald's and Dixie cups and fast now. What can you do to make things easier, better, faster, and more convenient for the prospect? You got to think about that. Now, as far as I hate car salesmen, and if there's a thing, if you have a thing that says, if you don't like the traditional, car salesman in parentheses or in quotation marks, don't worry. We have automotive professionals here. We're a pillar, and this is where you kind of say we're a pillar of the community. We do things, we donate, we do this, we do that. And it's just basically kind of just reaffirming. It's not what you're going to do, it's who you are. And as far as research, say, listen, we are not just salespeople. We're your automotive concierge. We will allow you to do a full-blown, product demonstration. We'll be able to show you, help you do the research, gather reviews. We'll help you, with everything. There's full transparency. So again, now you've got the top 5 reasons why people are going online: price, availability, convenience. I hate car salesmen, and research. If you want to add 7, add 2 more categories. Trade-in. Trade is big. It's, I would say trade-ins are important. The car that you have, what to do with it. Whether you want to trade it in, whether you want to sell it on your own, we could turn around and we do free trade appraisals. We'll go over book value. We do this and that. We'll even do consignment, blah, 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 blah. Whatever you want to do, it's there. And then credit. Credit would be the 7th. I gave you the top 5. Top 6 thing would be like trade. Top 7 thing is credit. We specialize in bad credit, no credit. Whether you got good credit, we can help you. So I just given you 7 categories of why people are coming to you. You should be able to populate your value package for those. And then this is good. Your demographics, which is the military, females, young family, first-time buyers, out of area, value packages. So I think this is a good start, okay? This is a good start, but you have a little work to do.
No problem.
But does that give you I don't want to deflate you. I think what you're doing is better than probably all the people in your competitors, but you didn't hire me to get you better. You hired me to get you to the best that you could possibly be, correct?
Oh, absolutely. And, yeah, I think that's what was, it's missing.
Okay, well, we're getting there. Okay, so moving forward, so, that's the value package conversation. Okay, above and beyond the value package conversation, the purpose of this phone call was to go over the scorecard and go over, some of the discrepancies. So, Travis, let's have you start with that. What happened after our conversation with Mr. Bleecker and Karen and myself and you?
Well, with the 357 phone calls that were made by each person.
Yeah.
That was a discrepancy with the...
Okay, it was a discrepancy within the system, Sean. Instead of me going off of the log that Lachey and Robert were keeping, I was going off of how the system was calculating the calls. And that's the reason they were being reported that way. So we've already alerted Dealers Peak that the calculations and the reports are not coinciding with each other. And Anna did show me the report that's closest to what they're actually doing. So I've been utilizing that report as well as just doing it the old-fashioned way, writing them down using the ticking system.
Okay, good. I was going to say, what needs to happen is this. I need to make sure on this phone call that we're all on the same page. Here's what the reality is. It's not, if it's a little bit more, it's going to be just a little bit more. It's not going to be in the 200s. It's not going to happen.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Let me give you the numbers. Your people should be making or taking 120 phone calls in a day. If they get to 120, 130, 140, 150, I think they're doing better than the vast majority of the tens of thousands of dealerships in the United States. So, you know, if they, I don't see it as real possibility hitting them 200 more a piece.
Okay.
So it's about 100 to 100. I'm sorry, it's 120 make or take phone calls. That's minimum. I don't want any less than 120. The next thing is you're going to have an 11 to 14% connection ratio. So each individual employee should be making 120 phone calls in a day. They should be connecting with 11 to 14%, which is roughly about 14 to 17 conversations apiece. Out of the 14 to 17 conversations, they should convert about 25 to 33% to appointments, which is, you know, roughly about 4 to 6 appointments in a day. So let me give you some specifics, like right now. Okay, Travis, can you write this down?
I've been writing it down.
Okay, what's today's date? Just so we're on the same page. Okay, I'm going to my calendar. Is the 8th, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, today is the 8th. So I'm going to show you how many working days that we've had. We've had, and I'm not counting today, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 working days so far this month. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so out of 5 working days, how many coordinators do you have working for you right now?
2.
Okay, so watch this. So 5 coordinators times, if you take 120 times 2 is 240 times 5 working days equals 1,200 calls. So as of right now, I don't need to do anything except for just some basic math, and I'll tell you what you should have out so far this month. You should have about 1,200 phone calls made this month times 0.14. You should have 168 conversations times 0.25. You should have 42 appointments made times 0.60. There should have been 25 people that came in times 0.40 is about 10 car sales so far this month. Where are we at?
We have 2 cars that have sold. And these are deals that are completely done. We have 2 that are completely done.
Yeah, that's all I care about.
We have 1 that is sitting in the hopper.
Yeah, I don't care about hoppers.
Okay, well, we have 2 that are completely done.
Okay, this is very important. How many, can you tell me from your calculations, how many phone calls have you guys made this month so far? Real ones.
Okay, hold on.
That's the other thing, Pat. I need to get you to the point where you don't have to look at papers. If I'm the internet director, I would have this stuff memorized. Every day I'd be obsessing about these numbers. I wouldn't have to go and juggle through pieces of paper and stuff like that. I would know automatically that my department has 1,200 phone calls or 1,100 phone calls, etc. So I need to get you to the point where you have this stuff memorized. It's not a lot of information.
927.
Okay, so you have 927, so you're off there. How many connections have you had?
109.
Okay. How many appointments have you had?
34, 43.
Okay, so you have 43 appointments.
Yes.
Okay, that's ahead of my projections. Okay,
And
how many appointments
we've
showed?
had 4 that have shown.
Only
and
4 that
2
showed?
Yes.
Okay, so
and I am confirming and sending confirmation emails out as well.
okay, so that tells me one of 2 things. Okay, and this is not a question; this is a statement. That tells me one of 2 things. Either you guys are really not making 43 phone calls. I mean 43 appointments. And what I mean by that is you might think they're appointments, but if somebody says I might come in, you might be marking that as an appointment. That's not an appointment. An appointment is a real solid appointment where somebody is confirming on that call that I will definitely be in. If somebody says, well, I might be in, that's not an appointment. We don't need a false positive. So if you only have 4 people that shows up, let me just tell you, at national average, like dealer synergy is 60%, but at national average, 43 divided by 2, you should have had a minimum of 20 people show up. To only have 4 people show up, something is seriously wrong. Seriously wrong. Travis, do you agree?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
I agree.
Okay, so now, because what's interesting is that if you had made the 1,200 phone calls, you would have had 168 people speak to. If you had 168 people, that would have been the right number to have 42 appointments. You only called 927. You only spoke to 109, and out of 109, think about that. That sounds like way off. 109 times 0.45. Yeah. Hold on. Let's say 109 times 0.44.
So let me ask you this, Sean.
Wait a minute. So here's the thing. That means that you made over 42% appointments. That is astronomically high. Usually you only make 25% of the appointments that you speak to. That means that almost half the people you speak to, you make appointments. That number's off. That's not true. Now, the next thing is I need to know on this phone call exactly, Pat, what are you doing all day long?
What am I doing? I'm confirming appointments. I'm reassigning the leads. I'm helping with whatever goes wrong in dealer peak.
Okay, stop. Go back for a minute. Reassigning leads. What do you mean you're reassigning leads?
Okay, when the leads come in, I send out the initial email. I reassign them to Robert and Lachey for them to make the calls to the customers.
Why are you making the initial email, and why are you doing it that way?
Because that was the way I thought that it was supposed to be handled.
Absolutely not. I personally trained you that that's not the right way to do it. That's incorrect. That's not correct at all, and not even close. The way that it's supposed to be, hold on for a second. Anna, come here, please. That's not the way at all. Again, you're playing air traffic control cop, and that's exactly my words I don't want you to be doing. It's not your job to send out the first email, and I understand if your OEM makes it. Hold on. What is the process in Dealer Peak for Bleecker? Because what Pat is telling me is that she's getting all the leads herself, and she's making the initial email, and then she's routing it to the people. Why the hell would she be doing that?
No,
Louder so they can hear you.
That's not the way that it was set up by Delaney.
Delaney?
He's the one who did the whole setup, and he went for the training. So he was the same person that deal with the setup and going to do the training.
Okay, so that's not from Dealer Peak. That's not from us. We don't know why that's been happening.
No, his Dealer Peak set up completely.
Okay, so then we don't know why that's happening. Now what's your schedule?
Okay, when
Pat?
the leads come.
Pat, real quick, what's your schedule?
From 8 in the morning to 8 at night.
Okay, so you're working 8 to 8 every day?
Monday through Friday, yes.
God bless you. I couldn't do that. That's a crazy shift. Okay, so you're working.
Yeah, it's hard, but I do it.
Okay, so you're working from 8 in the morning to 8 at night. So what you're telling me is that when the leads come in, all the leads come to you.
They either come in under my name or they come in BDC, CDJR, BDC, Buick GMC, BDC, Chevrolet. That's how they come in. Or either they come in under Ed Welch's name if they're special finance.
Okay, and then what you're doing is what? You're actually sending the first email. Are you writing this email or is it an email template?
No, it's a template.
Okay, so you're sending the template and then you're redirecting the lead to whichever coordinator.
Correct.
Okay, that's not the way that this system was designed or supposed to be. I don't know what happened on your guys' side or what have you or with Dealer Peak. The way that this is supposed to happen is that the leads should never go to you, ever. The leads should go directly into the coordinators. They should be round robin. So, for example, I don't care what store it is, it should automatically, based on your employee schedules. Okay, so for example, if let's say Anna and I were coordinators and you were the director, the leads go into Dealer Peak, but the Dealer Peak would have my schedule already programmed in Dealer Peak. It would have Sean's schedule. It would have Anna's schedule in Dealer Peak. That way, Dealer Peak would know when I'm not there. If I'm not there, then it's not going to go to me. It's going to go directly to Anna. But Dealer Peak does the air traffic control stuff. Because I guarantee you, it takes you time out of your day to send all those leads manually to those people. That's a waste of time. That's a waste of time and waste of energy. You're wasting hours and hours a week by just playing air traffic control cop. That's what a CRM is supposed to do. Travis, were you aware about this before?
Yeah, I was aware of it.
But we're still, even though Dealer Peak told me how to go in, set their schedules. Their schedules are set in Dealer Peak, but all of the leads are still coming in the same identical way.
Okay,
And they
then you need to turn around and call Dealer Peak and say to Dealer Peak, we need the leads to go into the coordinators.
Yeah, we got a meeting with them this afternoon after
this
you.
afternoon, yeah, at
Okay,
1.
then I'm
We
glad.
got some issues with Dealer Peak.
Okay, so again,
Because they keep saying that they can't have it where it goes into these separate buckets. But right now, the way that it's set up, like Lachey, for example,
listen,
is set up under...
listen. We have dealer groups that are on Dealer Peak, and there's no problem whatsoever. Correct?
No.
Okay, so yeah, we have dealer groups that are on Dealer Peak. There is no problem. They could follow our exact system. I don't know why it's not happening for your store, your dealer group, but the Neil Huffman dealer group is a big dealer group, and they're using Dealer Peak, and they're using it the absolute right way. So again, this is the first I'm hearing of this psychotic lead routing problem. And I'm not saying it's your problem. I'm not saying it's Dealer Peak's problem, but it's my problem right now that I have. You know what I mean? It's not Dealer Synergy's fault, but this is what's slowing things down. Okay, so what I need to have happen is, Anna, on your end, I want you to turn around and speak to Dealer Peak and find out what the F is going on. Talk to Robert Revere and say that Bleecker feels that Dealer Peak is all screwed up and it's Dealer Peak's problem. And it might be, but I want to go to the owner of the company myself, and we'll find out. We'll find out if it's a user error or if it's a technology error. They're not going to lie to me. You know what I mean? And if it's a technology
Yeah, and
error,
we were talking with John Rafa and Julio McCall, so those are who we've been.
yeah,
Exactly.
I talked to their bosses. So I'm going to talk to their bosses, and I'm going to find out what the issue is. And regardless, it has to get fixed because this is slowing you down, Pat. You as the director have way more higher level things to do than be air traffic control cop, okay?
Okay.
The next thing that I'm seeing here, and you should hear this for a second, this is about them, and it's recorded, is that I went through the numbers. They have a phone call deficiency. So if you take, just so we're clear, 927 divided by 2 equals 463 divided by 5, I'm showing that your people are only averaging 92.7 phone calls, even if that information is correct. So you are roughly about 25% deficient. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So here's the thing. Let's just turn around and say that, you know, you guys are doing 927. You should be, you're almost you're 200 and, 270 approximately, 270 phone calls short in 5 days. That's a lot of phone calls in 5 days to be short. You know what I'm saying? The connections.
Okay, let me ask you this, Sean. When the system states that they have completed all of their tasks, what do they do at that point?
Oh my God!
Do they go back and recall these people time after time?
Yes.
I'm just trying to find out.
Pat, I told you that I trained you personally on this. Yeah, I'm going to repeat myself. Absolutely. The goal is to go through the leads first, at least once in a day, after you get through your leads once in a day, to try to get through your leads twice in a day. You have, okay, and let's just keep it real right here. Okay, I just talked to Bleecker, and the reason why he's pissed, and I agree with him, is that you guys have got 300 leads. Travis, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, if you've got 300 leads, Pat, do basic math. What's 92.7? 92.7 times 2, that's 185. You guys are only making 185, even if we round it up, 186 calls a day, yet you have over 300 leads in your file. So as of right now, there's no, I don't know what people you're calling. I don't know what your task list is. I don't care about that. That's not my program. My program is to call your people a minimum of once to twice a day. If you called your people even once a day, you would be making 300 phone calls a day. Does that math make sense?
Yes.
Okay, I don't give a crap what Dealer Peak says. I don't care. That's your job as the director, is not to rely on a stupid tool, because the stupid tool is costing you money. Right now, do you know how many cars out of that department right now I would have if I was working in that department, Pat?
No.
I'd have 25 to 30 cars out, not 2 cars out. I swear to God, on my kids' lives right now, I would have 25 cars out today already. Do you know how I figure that?
No.
Watch. Travis, could you do me a favor? How many leads did you have last month?
Probably about 600-700.
Okay, you had 600-700. You didn't sell anything last month. I guarantee that you walked into this month with at least 400 to 500 leads because today's only the 5th. So I guarantee that if you click your all active leads, you have 400 to 500 leads. Plus this month, in 5 days, you had at least 100 to 150 leads. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, so as of right now, I swear to God, you have at least 500 to 600 leads that are active in your file right now. Travis, do you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, let's say on a minimum scale, you have 500 leads. Out of the 500 leads, 10% of 500 leads is 50 cars. Well, let's just turn around and if you turn around and cut that in half, that's 25 cars. I guarantee you. Now, am I saying, you know, would I have 25 cars out right now doing it the same way that you're doing it, playing air traffic control cop by only making 92 phone calls apiece? Absolutely not. Here's the other thing. Pat, do you even know what your number one job is?
I'm sorry.
Do you know what
I
your
was
number
answering their question.
Do you know what your number one job is?
To monitor what goes on in my department.
Hell no. No, your number one job is to sell appointments. That's your number one job. You know what I mean? You're the manager, yes, but at the end of the day, you're the one that's responsible. If this thing doesn't work, it is on you. It is on your shoulders. It's not on your frontline basic employees. You came in here as a high-level automotive professional. That's what you sold me. I believe you. I believe that you're a high-level automotive professional. I got to tell you something. I'm a little nervous. You know why? Because, you know, I don't care if Dealer Peak is wrong or Dealer Peak is broken. For you to tell us that they were selling 300, I mean, you guys were making 300 phone calls a piece, common sense would turn around and say that's wrong. I would never turn around and go to my manager and say, yeah, we made 600 phone calls today because Dealer Peak says so. I would say, boss, Dealer Peak is saying you made 600 phone calls, but I'm experienced enough to know that that is completely BS and completely broken. So I'm a little nervous here. And the second thing I got to tell you is at the end of the day, it's about selling cars. It's about selling cars. I fought to get you a guarantee so you didn't have to stress about stuff. But I'm stressed. Bleecker's stressed because right now they're not making any money. And it's not because they don't have the leads. It's because it's not being managed properly. Okay? I'm not saying it's all on you. I'm not saying that. I'm saying this is not managed properly because if you go into the 4 Ps, if you remember, the internet department is made or broken in 4 key categories: products, people, process, promotions. Okay, you got to look at the products. Do you have the products? Yes. Do they need some work? I absolutely think that part of the problem is not you or management at all. I think part of the problem is there's an issue with Dealer Peak. I don't know yet if it's because, you know, Dealer Peak messed up or because Bleecker screwed up Dealer Peak's setup. I don't know. We're going to find that out. But Dealer Peak is jacked up, and I think that's part of your problem. People, I think that's your second part of your problem. I don't think you have enough people. And here's, Travis, what the problem is that you have all these leads. So the fact of your people that are there, they are only able to make as many phone calls as they can make. Now, yes, even though they're not making enough, they're still making a lot. But they're not nearly able to touch all of the fresh leads. Do you see what I'm saying? So I definitely think that you need more people, and that would help out.
Yeah, I've agreed with that since the beginning. I mean,
yeah. So Pat, just so you know, I again, this is not come down on Pat Day. This is, you know, we're all on the same team here. So again, I'm telling you, there are bigger variables. Even if you did everything perfectly, and even if your people made all the phone calls, I don't think you could have possibly sold 25 cars because you've got these other issues in play, such as a CRM problem and such as you have a lack of the right amount of people. So we're working on that. But here's what I did teach you. Covey says, and remember this, guys? Pat, remember what I'm about to say? Covey says you're going to look at yourself and find and tell yourself what is the thing that you could focus on that has the most dramatic impact, the most change. Do you remember that? I said Covey always talks about what can you look at yourself and do that will have the most impact and the most significant change. And to be honest with you, Pat, at the end of the day, if you turn around and didn't do all this other crap, this management, this reports, if you were just pounding the phones yourself, right? Forget about your coordinators. Forget about them for a second. If you just yourself with all your experience and all your greatness and all your awesomeness, if you just pounded the crap out of the phones, would you not make appointments that showed up? Would they not come in?
Yes.
That's my point. At the end of the day, you need to turn around and make this department a success. So if it was me, I would turn around and have a meeting with Travis and Mr. Bleecker and say, guys, look, I want this to work, but it's not working the way it is. There's some issues. And right now, until you figure out when the hell you're going to get me some extra bodies, and until you can figure out when the hell you're going to fix Dealer Peak, it's a waste of my time to run reports that are garbage, that don't make any sense. So instead of wasting that time, let me turn around and focus on what I can control. Circle of influence versus circle of concern. What can you control? You can control your attitude, Pat. You can control your work ethic, Pat. You can control yourself down on the phones, Pat. You can control yourself talking to people, Pat. And you can control yourself convincing people to show up for appointments, right or wrong.
Correct.
Because I think it is a shame and it is an embarrassment. There's only 4 people that showed up this month for an appointment.
I agree.
Okay. So look, just in case you forget any part of what I said, you could rewind me whenever you want. I recorded this. Okay?
Yes.
Listen, you are a smart woman, Pat. What do you think is going to happen? If this doesn't work, what do you think is going to happen? I'm not going anywhere. Just for the record, they paid me a year up front. They're married to me. They can't fire me. I'm here. You understand?
I understand that.
And I believe in you. But we need to make something happen now because we don't ever, it's not happening yet. They haven't said, I want to replace anybody, replace anything, but you don't want that to be on the radar. You need to take evasive action right now. Now I'm going to ask you a question, and it's not going to make me think any less of you. But based on what I said, do you think you're the right person for this job?
Yes, I do.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Good. And I believe in you, and I will back you up, but we need to get on the same page. Pat, how many times have you called me personally?
Probably none since you left. I speak mostly with Anna.
The word is not probably.
The
word is not probably. The word is not at all.
Right. I talked to Anthony and Anna.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I'm the multimillionaire genius that put this thing together. Those are my employees. Don't you think you should be talking to me?
Well, I just thought they were your go-to people.
Listen to me. Okay, yeah, they are the go-to people if everything's going right. But if the ship is sinking, you know what I mean? You should reach out to me.
I can promise you I will from this day forward.
And good. And you know what? This is me being real with you. You know, I could turn around and just placate you and just pacify you and just replace you, but I don't want to do that. I want to make this work. I want you to make money. I want to put you on a cover of a magazine. I care about you, and I care about Travis, and I damn sure care about Mr. Bleecker. You know what I'm saying? So, again, let's try to work as a team. I've got great people here, but we can't talk about this. I need you focused. I need you pounding the phones. You've got to be leading by example. You've got to be the best coordinator in there. You can't, you are the title. You got the paycheck. You got the guarantee. You got the title. You are the director. Nobody's taking that away from you, but you got to throw down. You know what I'm saying? For me, I am the best trainer because I'll turn around. I'm going to put down. I'm going to show and prove. You've got to turn around and lead by example, show by example.
Not a problem.
All right. Now, I don't want to drain you. I don't want to ruin your day, but this had to be said. I got your back. I'm going to let you go. Any questions?
Oh, no questions at all.
Travis, I'll see you at 2 o'clock for our projection meeting, okay?
Yes, sounds good. And, Sean, should we just hold off on our meeting with Dealer Peak on the phone until you get something straightened out with the higher-ups? Should we meet with the lower down?
No, I want you to meet with them and find out what they say, because then if they say something stupid, I'm going to go to the higher-ups and say, look, man, there's a disconnect. No, I want to really try to find out what they're saying, because here, Travis, when you talk to them, say Dealer Synergy was under the impression that this was a complete Dealer Synergy setup, just like the Neil Huffman group. Why is there a big catastrophic difference? Why are you telling, Pat, that this can't be done, that can't be done, when it's done for other Dealer Synergy clients? And they're either going to tell you either they messed up or they did set it up and then Bleecker messed up by accident. So we just need to find out who did it. And again, nobody's going to get reprimanded. We just need to fix it. But we need to figure out whose responsibility it was. That way we could retrain, refocus, reprioritize. Okay?
Yep.
Okay.
And remember, I'm not angry. I'm passionate. This is out of the spirit of love.
Oh,
Not a
absolutely.
problem.
All right.